Ciao a tutti, this is Esther.
Alfred here.
Of You, Me, and Sicily. Welcome to our channel, or welcome back to You, Me, and Sicily, where we come to you weekly talking about all things Sicilian. Boy, I have a treat for you guys. We're going to take you down to Aci Trezza to show you some guys painting boats, and then later we're going to talk to an expat from England living here for over 40 years.
Who's full of practical advice, by the way. Belinda is just an awesome person, good friend of ours. She has a Facebook page that she administers called Expats of Sicily. So for
Expats living in Sicily.
Expats
Very
living in
helpful
Sicily.
site.
So if you guys, join up if you possibly can, learn as much as you can about Sicily before you come here, that's for sure.
That's a great site. All right, should we go down to Aci Trezza or not yet?
Not yet. I have a question, buddy.
Yeah.
Where are we going this weekend coming up?
We're going to go to Agrigento to shoot some videos.
We're going to the province of Agrigento, and we're going to we're staying at the same place that we stayed
Same hotel. Great hotel.
Great hotel.
View of the Valley of Temples. Great hotel. So we'll report back to you on that.
Are we going to the Valley of Temples?
Of course we are.
Are we going to take any video?
Hopefully we'll go there at night because it's quite magical there at night. So we'll take lots of video for you guys.
Could I ride around on that golf cart? They have golf carts there, so you don't have to walk.
Fun.
Believe it or not, the best $10 you can spend.
It's a good thing. All right.
And what else are we going to do besides going to Agrigento?
Eat good foods.
Eat good foods. Okay.
All right, so let me tell you guys that one of the reasons I love living in the area that we live in is because, it's about 20 minutes from center of Catania, the historic section. It's pretty close to a lot of other touristy areas like Taormina, Ortigia, etc. But it's walking distance from Aci Trezza, which is one of my favorite fishing villages in all of Sicily. Every single time I go there, I just go, wow, there's always something to marvel at. The beautiful rocks, obviously, the sea, the sky, the sun. It's just great. But this time, I stumbled upon a man who was hand painting the boats that are so typical to that area. Take a look. I was walking around Aci Trezza and I noticed this boat down here in the dock, and it's beautifully painted. There's a mermaid right here. And the painter, Giovanni, is over here.
Sei americana tu?
Sì.
And where you come from in America?
Io, Boston.
Ah, Boston.
Boston. And look, he's painting it right here. Hand painting it.
Io sono stato a Houston.
Houston. He's been to Houston. And he said it takes 20 days to do this. And over here, he's already penciled in another boat in Carretti Siciliana. How cool is that? What a treasure he is.
E io uso la barca per fare escursioni turistiche.
He uses the boat to do tourist excursions.
L'ho usata io nella falegnameria, fatto mastro d'ascia, imbianchino e pittore. Tutto, l'ho aggiustata io.
Wow, he does everything. See? That's a scene from the movie La Terra Trema. E dove mette questa?
Volevo mettere qua, ma sono indeciso. Prima devo vedere quello che so, devo ragionare quello che so disegnato.
He doesn't know what he's going to do yet. He's assessing the situation. Look at that. I came down here again with Stefania, and he's advancing beautifully, right?
Yes. I think he lives 100 years doing these things.
He will live to be 100 for sure.
Ciao. Ciao a tutti. Ciao.
There's Stefania and her doggy. Aslan.
Guarda Esther, è un bellissimo giorno d'inverno qui ad Aci Trezza.
Beautiful winter day here in Aci Trezza. Never gets old, right?
No, never.
Fantastic artistry here. It's painting the Aci Castello. Stefania and I said it in the video, we've been there a million times, but it just never gets old. That scene, the fishermen, the people walking around, the restaurants, the hubbub of everyday life down in that village. But of course, this happens all over Sicily. Castellamare del Golfo, another great one. Sciacca, Avola, they're all splattered all over the island. Small, quaint little fishing villages.
Not the cities. I don't think you ought to come here and move into a city unless you're a city dweller. I really don't. Okay? Just push yourself inland. Push yourself to the left or to the right of suburban areas. The cities you may want to stay away from. I'm not a city dweller. I don't believe in it. I mean, I was a city dweller. No more, baby. No more.
The cool thing, too, is when I went down there, I met Salvatore, who had been building large tuna and swordfish boats up until the 60s and 70s when some laws changed regarding that. But I was talking about on Facebook about these boats, and our friend Alfio Tropeo sent me some pictures from the old times, the way the boats look. So take a look at those.
He's from Galveston, Texas, by the way. Galveston, Texas. Can you imagine that, Bunny?
A lot of people from Aci Trezza apparently have gone there.
Salvatore.
Salvatore.
Sì.
Fatto barca.
Sì. Anche più grandi, eh?
But this tradition of painting boats is so beautiful, and it warms my heart that it continues today. And you know, we've talked about Aci Trezza so many times, and we've talked about the Providenza, beautiful hand-painted boat, and the importance of passing down this tradition and culture to other generations. So it's a great little thing to see.
Can I say one more thing, Bunny?
Yeah.
Listen to me. At nighttime, from my deck, those very fishermen that she's talking about painting, they put the miners' hats on their head
Yeah.
with the little flashlight going into the water, and they're going to catch squid for the next day's sales. It's unbelievable. At 4 o'clock in the morning this morning, I counted 14 boats out there catching squid.
Yeah.
So guess
Well,
what?
Squid and other fish. You know,
Yeah.
they come right onto the deck, and you can stand around and watch as they do that. But the other thing is that they use a lot of these boats not only for fishing, but also for tourism, for events, for weddings, and so forth.
Yeah.
But going down there, especially in the winter when the fresh coat of paint is going on those boats, is just amazing.
It's a rebirth that happens all over the island, not only in Aci Trezza,
You're right.
but every
All the fishing
village
villages.
right now are sprucing up all their boats.
From Castellamare to Sciacca to Messina to all the provinces and all sides of Sicily, they are doing that. So, shall we go talk to Belinda now? Now, let me tell you. So, I was down at the same day in Aci Trezza. I'm having coffee, and she's walking by with her dog, and she stopped. Are you Esther? I said, oh, yeah, I'm Belinda. So, we ended up talking for almost 2 hours about her life here in Sicily. She was born in Jamaica, you guys, and then lived all over the place, ended up in England, and now she's been here in Sicily for 40 years. Take a listen to our conversation. What is it about Italy that you love so much? And let's say specifically Sicily.
Well, Italy, I think, is the most beautiful country in the world because it has so much to offer. It has everything to offer, whether it's history, whether it's geography, nature. In particular, Sicily, even more so. It's more varied. The coastlines are wonderful, very striking. We've got mountains, we've got snow, we've got our own volcano. Beautiful landscapes, beautiful coastlines. Just about everything anybody would want.
You're a teacher. You teach
Yes,
English.
I
You
am.
also have a company renting and leasing villas. Is that correct?
Weekly holiday rentals.
Weekly holiday rentals. But what have been, you know, you've settled here. You have a car, you have a house. What were some of the challenges initially?
Well, initially, of course, the language. I didn't speak a word when I first came here. Luckily, I picked it up really, really quickly. I mean, very quickly. I was young. When your brain is young, you do pick things up quickly, I presume. I suppose also the weather. That's another big plus. I had lived in England for a few years just before I came here, and I did not like living in England. No way. The warm-heartedness of the people, and the weather, as I'm saying, and the beaches and so on. I mean, British beaches are nothing fantastic. The water is cold and grey and not very attractive. That's about it, I suppose.
So back to the challenges.
Yes,
What
the
are
challenges. Well, I suppose the difference in mentality more than anything.
What's the most difficult part in that?
Well, initially, for example, one of the worst things that I found was getting along with women here. I was young and I was quite pretty at the time. And
you still are. Stop it.
Thank you. 40 years ago, women were a little bit different than they are now. It was very difficult to find a good friend that was a Sicilian, because there was a lot of jealousy, a lot of competition going on. I mean, there still is, but you know, the girls nowadays, they're open. They're more open. At the time, they were, and of course, people didn't adapt to one's way of being because they were very stereotyped. Women would dress in a certain way, and I think they still do to an extent. And if you have your own personality, it's very hard to fit in, put it that way. Very hard. You have to try and change yourself quite a bit.
You said one of the things that infuriates you the most is the trash.
Oh my
what
God.
Do you think
That's
is
my
it
pet peeve.
About the trash here? Rubbish.
Well, as I said earlier to you, the thing that strikes me is how much Sicilians say they love their island. When they leave and go and live somewhere else, they all want to come back here. But if you really love your island, why don't you treat it well? Why do you throw your trash out on the street, near your house even? Why do you have the outside of your buildings falling to pieces? Why don't you fix them up? Why don't the villages look all cute and pretty with nice walls, pretty windows? Why does everybody build the way any way they like? You know?
In terms of bureaucracy, you're coming from England.
I'm really pissed off about Brexit, I'll tell you. Very.
Tell me.
Yeah. Well, I've had to go through this process of getting this Carta di Soggiorno, which is like the Permesso di Soggiorno for British people, which has been a pain. Even getting an appointment to go down to the Questura, to the police station, to sort it out was a nightmare. You had to send an email, then you had to wait for them to answer your email. That took weeks. Finally, they answered, send the paperwork, they disappear again, so you're phoning, writing. It took months, and I still don't physically have my card.
What about testa sanitaria?
Oh, I have that. I got that straight away. When I first moved here, I got a codice fiscale, like your social security number, I suppose, and my tessera sanitaria, I got that pretty much straight away. I've had those for ages. But of course, being British, contrary to Americans, we were part of the European community. I didn't really need a permesso di soggiorno or anything like that. Whereas now I do. Now I'm like an American or a Canadian or an African or whatever. I'm an extracomunitaria, as they say.
What would you say to people who want to move to Sicily?
Well, before you actually move, come here and see what it really means living here. Come here, rent a house, spend some time here, visit the island, get to know the people before you actually move.
See?
You may not like it.
You give the same advice Alfred and I always give.
Well, you're wise people.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, come and see Sicily. It's beautiful. One of the most beautiful islands, right in the middle of the Med.
And look at that. Where do I stumble upon Belinda? In our little village of Aci Trezza. What's her name? I forgot.
Tequila.
Tequila. You tequila drinker?
Boom, boom.
Are you tequila drinker?
Not really, no. My kids wanted her to be called Tequila.
You know, Esther, Belinda's a very insightful woman. Okay, we've had long discussions on the phone, and what her view is about coming here is exactly spot on with my view, okay? People who come here with their suitcases thinking that they just got to show up and have a pleasant life are in for a rude awakening administratively when they try to get their paperwork done, culturally if they don't know the area, okay? So the best advice that she gave, in my view, was come here and rent. Before you take a dive and buy, come here and rent. I think that's really crucial.
You know, and she did address the things about the language and also about making friends. I fortunately had a little bit of a different experience where I have several girlfriends that are very close to me and very kind. But as she said, you know, today's Sicilian women are different than what they were. 40 years ago. But culturally, you do have to understand that it's very different than in other countries.
40 years ago, that's be the late 80s or the mid 80s, Sicily was just kind of like changing in terms of culture, okay? It was very conservative and mistrustful of outsiders, okay? It was
Still a little bit mistrustful.
Today, it's still mistrustful, to be honest with you, because even though I've been here for almost over 2 decades, people still refer to me as the Americano. I'm an American. Straniero. You're the straniero. I'm the Americano, okay? So it's really like, and even if you're an Italian citizen who has dual citizenships, it doesn't make any difference to a lot of these people, especially the old-timers. It's a very closed society that you have to earn your way in.
For sure.
That's for sure.
And you know, I think I've talked about the situation before with Francesca, you know, the fruit and vegetable place that we often go to down at the bottom of the street, that when I first started going to her, she was very cold, very mistrustful, and it took, you know, a few months of me going there regularly and, you know, continued to be nice to her despite her being cold, that she finally warmed up. And now, you know, whenever she has artichokes, she writes me in the morning because she knows how much I love the roasted artichokes. And, you know, if we need anything, she'll even drive it up there. So it's developing those relationships is very, very key. But I think that's the case not only here in Sicily, but all over the world.
Before we go on, I want to make an announcement, okay? Today is going to be Pizza Day. The Bunter and I are going out tonight for pizza at our favorite restaurant. Am I correct in saying that?
Reitana is your favorite?
Well, one of my favorite restaurants. They have over 60 different types of pizza.
What kind of pizza are you going to have tonight?
Margarita. But it's a great place, and especially their wine. It's from Catania. It's a little bit carbonated, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Maybe so we'll show you a little bit. Well, you got a margarita. What did you got? Hot dogs on your pizza. It's good. And you, what kind of pizza?
Margherita with prosciutto.
With ham. Aristocrato.
Sono funghi, gorgonzola, speck. E tu che sta prendendo?
Venere e caramellato. Pizza, very good. Allora, questa è cos'era? Speck di maiale di Napoli. Maiale di Napoli.
Black Madonna pig. Gorgonzola. Questo è
parmigiano.
Sì.
Parmigiano reggiano. Stracciatella pugliese.
Ooh, look at that one. Whoa.
Ciao. Hello.
Ciao.
You know, getting back to boats and seas and this time of the year, I remember one time you and I went to a boat festival, didn't we?
No, it wasn't a boat festival. It was the Festa of San Giovanni Battista. But before the San Giovanni Battista, who is the patron saint of Aci Trezza, celebrated June 24th. And of course, we did a whole video on that. There is some kind of a celebration demonstrating how fishing is such a big part of life in the village. And they have the fishermen going out and painted boats, and they try to catch the fish. Of course, the fish is human being, and then once they catch them, there's red ketchup or something coming out of his mouth, and then they're celebrating, we're rich, we're rich, we're rich. And then a few times they also don't get anything and they're sad, and it's just an incredible scene to witness.
You know, Esther, St. John the Baptist, San Giovanni Battista, is not only the patron saint of Aci Trezza, but I got caught one time in the most beautiful festival up in Giardini Naxos with my friend Roberto. Okay,
Many places, San Giovanni
just
Battista.
knocked me out. It just knocked me out. But you know what the big difference is? These festivals aren't the type of festivals that you got to walk around and just eat pizza and horse meat sandwiches, stuff like that. It's the fervor, okay? Here, it's the fervor. When they
It's such a small, quaint.
blows me away,
Yeah.
the religious fervor, right?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And even coming up now to Easter, I mean, pretty soon it's going to be Lent, and then pretty soon it's going to be Good Friday. And wait till you see the stuff that we have for Good Friday that'll just blow you away. And you're not going to find a
beautiful to see
crispelli
that.
or a sausage sandwich at all. I'm
I'll
telling
be
you right
going
now.
to the United States for a few weeks pretty soon, and I'm bringing a bunch of goodies with me, including the sterling silver Trinacria pendants that we have for sale. So message me if you want one.
Yeah, I think we only have about 9 left. And look who's there, Esther.
I know.
Surprise,
Gotta take you guys
surprise.
over there. We interrupt this ad to present Francesco. All week we haven't seen him.
Io sto chiamando.
Sì? Tutto bene?
Tutto bene.
Saluta tutti.
Tutti sotto. Ciao. Buon giornata.
Buona giornata. I love seeing him. He's so much fun. And by the way, I forgot to tell you. There we go.
He always brings Esther something. He's got the biggest crush on Esther. I'm telling you.
Stop
half my liquor cabinet.
No, he brought
is
me
stuff that he-
oranges the other day, too.
What did he bring you?
He brought the oranges, the blood oranges.
Oh
remember?
my God!
He's a good
I'm
guy.
telling you.
All
right
right.
now,
In
it's
any case, so the
unbelievable. But I don't
sterling
mind.
silver Trinacers, and we have space in our May tour on the East Coast, and also the June tour on the West Coast. So message me for that, or for information, go to www.youmeandsicily.com.
I have an announcement to make.
Yeah.
You know, the spring planting season is upon us.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I'm going to
Basil?
first of all, I'm going to plant my basil. I mean, last year, as a matter of fact, it is still growing from
That's
last
incredible.
year. It blows my mind. Pete
Yeah.
Scipoletti, it's still growing from last March. I mean, they're getting higher, the stocks, because they're running out
Then
of
we're
energy.
doing mint, right?
Then we're going to do mint, of course.
No more celery, because that was a big
That was
flop.
a flop next
How
year.
about tomatoes? We've never done tomatoes.
Tomatoes,
We have
no, because that
rosemary
would be an
always.
insult to
Oh,
Peter
you
if I
know-
did that. I'm not going to do tomatoes.
You know what? The pepperoncino, the little red peppers.
The little red peppers I'm going to do. But the reason I'm bringing up the growing season is going to be starting is Christine is organizing now the new planting season for the olive tree initiative that we do.
Olive Tree Memorial.
Olive Tree
For
Memorial.
a loved one, in memory of someone, for wedding, anniversary. It's a great present.
And-
Olive Tree Memorial.
And she's also expanded other than, she got a bunch of places in Sicily, right?
We have Cefola Diana, we have Castellamare del Golfo, we have, of course, Montadoro, our long-standing one, and now she's also doing other parts of Italy.
Like Apulia. Am I correct in
Mm-hmm.
saying that? Any place else besides Apulia?
It's on her website, www.olivetreememorial.com.
So,
Our good
and then
friend.
they make great gifts, mementos, whatever. That's a great little thing to have.
Yeah. All right. At this point, I want to thank our sponsors. Thank you so, so much for supporting You, Me, and Sicily. It's thanks to you that we're able to continue bringing quality videos for you, not only weekly, twice a week, and sometimes even 3 times a week. And I've started these new things called shorts, Alfred.
Shorts?
Yeah, which
I
is
have
like-
shorts on right now. Those types of shorts?
Which is less than
My
a
shorts
minute
are boxer
videos.
shorts.
for
Oh,
you.
okay. I thought you were
So
talking
hope
about
you
shorts.
guys are enjoying those, and we have many more videos to come.
So wait a minute. How does the shorts work? Just explain
just-
to me. I don't know how it works.
You just go on your phone, you go under shorts, and they're there.
And it's on our website.
It's on You, Me, and Sicily on our main page
Shorts.
as well.
So why don't we
tidbits.
have them tell us what they'd like to see, whether it's food, whether it's clothing,
I'm just
whether
starting out, so I'm experimenting. I want to know. That's a good question. What do you guys want to hear more about and see more of in those very short shorts?
Belinda's website on Facebook is terrific. We already mentioned the name. But there are even better ones that you may want to check out. For example, a lot of people have been bombarding me about dual citizenship info. There are two great websites on Facebook, Italian dual citizenship they're called. One of them even has a step-by-step guide on how to do it for free. Now, I don't usually get involved with them at all because it's for free. We're lawyers after all, Massimo and I, and we only handle the tough cases. But if you want to just learn about it, that's a really good website.
What's the website?
It's called Italian Dual Citizenship, and another one is called Dual Italian Citizenship.
Yeah, there's
there
a lot
of
people out there.
Another good one to get, there's some great stuff that you ought to know about, okay? Wanted in Rome.
Oh, that's a great Facebook page.
Wanted in Rome is another good one because it gives more of a national flavor, okay? Especially the political stuff, besides the political stuff, all the other stuff. So that Facebook is good for Italian stuff. And then finally, one other thing. I've been fooling around for the last several months on Instagram, okay? And I just typed in Italian vocabulary words, okay? And all these people pop up. They take 30 seconds, and they'll teach you 5 or 6 words a day.
It's funny.
It's awesome. I really
But if you do want, we still have Italian conversation classes online, Italian conversation on YouTube available if you're interested.
Yep.
Message me because Stefania and I put together a set of 10 to 12, some bonus materials for you. That's very easy. Words, some phrases, you know, things that, everyday things that you may need here in Sicily. So, on that note, do you have a final thing to say?
Yes, I do. Sun Tzu, The Art of War, okay? He says, know the terrain. I'm going to give you that little handy advice over here. Before you come to Italy, before you come to Sicily, learn about it. Know the terrain. I think that's his first rule, okay?
Good one.
Learn about it. Thank you very much.
On that note, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll have a great week. Ciao.
Pizza. Sevenadiga.
Ciao.
Ciao.
We just had a beautiful walk, and what do you want to say to everyone, Stefania?
Voglio augurare a tutti un buon weekend e una speciale domenica.
Happy Sunday from Stefania.
Ciao ciao.
Ciao.